Tiananmen Square protest and internet censorship in China.
Can you imagine what it would be like if you tried to Google something and an alert came up saying that what you were trying to research had been blocked by government laws and regulations? This is the reality for Chinese citizens today. China is a communist country that has something called internet censorship.
Internet censorship is the control or suppression of what can be accessed, published, or viewed on the internet and is carried out by the government.
On June 4th, 1989, 3,000 college students started a protest, and later 70,000 workers went on strike to support the students. The students protested in Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China, to express their pro-democratic beliefs after the death of a liberal reformist leader.
This is a photo of student reformists protesting in Tiananmen Square. Their poster says, "Absolute power corrupts absolutely." This is their way of expressing how they don't like communism in China.
The Chinese government responded to the protests by sending in troops with rifles and having tanks fire at the protesters. Between several hundred to 1,000 people were killed.
This is a photo of the tanks that were sent in by the Chinese government in response to the protests against communism, and they started firing at the protesters with an army behind them. This is a photo of the aftermath of the protest. As you can see, it caused lots of casualties, and it was really devastating to the town. And because of this, China wanted to forget the event completely.
After this tragic incident occurred, China tried to force the country and younger generations to forget by censoring the phrase June 4th. What comes up instead are birthday posts and anniversaries.
This is a list of censored words in China, and more words are continuously being added to this list every day.
Since 2011, 262 words have been blocked on Chinese websites, such as Massacre of Beijing Square, Tiananmen, Student Leader, Blood on the Square, Reformist, Massacre, Suppress, and Declaration.
China now refers to this event using the term political turmoil between the spring and summer of 1989. We as Americans should care about this event because students were getting killed for wanting freedom of speech and press, things that we as Americans take for granted every day. And on top of killing the students, they also are trying to erase this event from history so that younger generations are brainwashed into supporting communist governments.
There is 1.386 billion people living in China today. That is almost 4 times the amount of American citizens.
In America, it is illegal to block things from us, and we are able to protest against our government and have our own thoughts. It is not okay for a country to take those basic rights away from its people. American reporters were sent out of the country after this event to try to minimize the news of this event.
But there is still hope. Organizations like Great Fire strive to get the citizens of China their rights back. They started collecting data about the Great Firewall of China in February 2011 and launched a website making this information public. In that October, they made their official name Great Fire. They have continued to add information about blocked searches and websites and are constantly trying to improve their data. Initially, they only covered a few hundred websites, but now are monitoring over 10,000 URLs.
Ways you can raise awareness about this cause is by talking about the censorship in China, and if you really feel strongly about what's going on, then you can also donate to Great Fire. This presentation was brought to you by Juliana Tullio,
Maya Pafashak,
and Alex Livergolo.